Hello there, welcome to the Saroy channel. I love you guys so much. You're all very special to me. Anybody's got to be special if they love Bigfoot. And I just know I do. I don't know why, I just find Bigfoot stories so relaxing. It's crazy. I mean, even before I go to bed, I find I just love to listen to a story. It's just so, I don't know, there's nothing like it in this world. That's what I say. Anyway, let's get started, and please subscribe to my channel. I'd love you to do so because you don't want to miss out on all these amazing stories. There's nothing better than a good story. So let's get started. I know you're going to enjoy this one. Dear Sarah, hello, my name is Pete and I'm 42 years old and I would like to share my Bigfoot encounter with you, if I may. I appreciate remaining anonymous because it's a big deal for me to keep this sort of story hush-hush. Well, as I said, I'm a hog hunter and I love hunting hogs, but I'm very particular about my hunting practices. I do not hunt hogs with dogs, nor do I set up traps to kill hogs at point-blank range, because for me that defeats the whole purpose of hog hunting. I like a big challenge, and hunting hogs by killing them with a clear shot in between the eyes is the kindest way to take the animal, but also the most challenging. I also have some strict rules with my hog hunting. First of all, the hog I shoot must be big enough to have had some sort of a quality of life. I also prefer to take down male hogs rather than female hogs for obvious reasons. However, there's one very big problem when it comes to these animals. They are clever, fast and feisty. If they detect a slight movement or a whiff of your scent, they'll be off like lightning and very difficult to approach again because their senses become very heightened. Another problem with a hog is they can be extremely aggressive and literally charge you if you're not careful. Where I live, we have had major problems with hogs because they have been damaging the environment by eating all the tubers and everything. They can cause a lot of damage. There's just too many of them running around, but my code of ethics never changes with my hunting practices regardless. Every time I go hog hunting, I get up at the crack of dawn before the sun rises and do my level best to be as quiet as possible. I used to hunt with a friend of mine, but he was always so clumsy and made so much noise, we never got a fair shot at a hog because they always ran away. These days I prefer to go shooting for hogs alone. I always look for fresh droppings and markings in the soil, as well as fresh muddy marks on branches where the hogs love to rub their derrieres, so to speak. My secret weapon to catching hogs is approaching them with stealth and making sure I have not been seen. On the day I had my Bigfoot encounter, it was a cool summer's day, and luckily there was a decent breeze, which was to my advantage because I would move in unison with the rustling of the leaves. On this particular day, I had the hog I wanted to shoot in sight. He was a hefty, sizable fellow, and I was able to take him down in seconds. He never knew a thing. I rushed over to my prize with a feeling of elated glee, already imagining the friend I would invite for pig on the spit with cornbread, beer, and of course mac and cheese. Sorry, I had no intention of making your listeners drool at the thought of crisply crackling and meat that melts in your mouth like butter. I immediately picked up my mobile to tell my wife the good news. I got one down, I told her proudly. You can invite your friends for a party on the patio. I then proceeded to thank my hog for the gift of his life, which is something I always do, and then I started to skin him straight away. There's a good reason I do this. Number one, it's easy to carry an animal that's been gutted because these hogs can be very heavy. And number two, I really need to remove the innards, especially the bladder, because should the bladder burst, it could contaminate the meat and it will taste not very nice. Luckily, I'm a skilled butcher and I made a fast work of skinning and gutting the hog. I put the innards in a bucket along with the bladder and intestines, liver and kidneys, etc., etc. I then strung the ham and hung the 2 hams on the tree, and then I proceeded to make a couple of journeys to my jeep. When I came back to my gutting spot to retrieve my cooler and the 2 hams, I was horrified to find everything gone except my empty cooler lying on the ground. The first thought that came into my mind was that some coyotes had retrieved my meat, but then what about the hams that were hung at 5 foot above the ground? None of this made any sense to me. Then it dawned on me that some lazy hunter had come and pinched my kill. This made me as mad as hell, because there are so many hogs out here. Why would anyone be so mean as to steal my kill? OMG, I thought, this is crazy. Who would do this? Is there not an unwritten code of ethics among us hunters? To say I was disappointed in human nature is not an understatement. Suddenly I had this eerie feeling that I was not alone. I could feel eyes on me. It's hard to explain, but you know you're being watched. I looked around the thick brush to see if I could spot anything, but I couldn't see anything. Then I heard this deep guttural growl that was so scary I almost jumped out of my skin. I looked around again and then I saw it. It was huge. It was covered with deep brown, dirty red hair that was matted and nasty looking. But it wasn't a bear, it was bipedal though, but it wasn't human, nor was it an ape, but possibly a mixture of both species. It stood at about 9 foot tall, with the most enormous torso, 3 feet across, that positively rippled with muscles. I knew this creature could literally just rip off my head in seconds. It was like coming up against King Kong. I was defenseless because I just froze to the spot. The eyes of the creature bored into mine. I felt as he was looking into the depths of my soul. Run, run, I told myself, but my body just would not move. Once again the creature made a deep guttural warning growl and snarled at me. Suddenly I heard a chattering noise. Oh, please God, I thought, not another one, please no. Luckily the creature was distracted. He grunted and turned around to chatter to the other creature. It seemed like they had a language. I took this opportunity to run like the wind as fast as I could. The adrenaline surged through my body and my heart was pounding through my chest as I bolted back to my car, jumped in, started the engine, and drove away as fast as I could. When I got home, I told my wife to cancel the party because a hunter had stolen my hog. What is the world coming to? She sighed. I've never told a solitary soul my story until now, but my world has definitely changed since I met Bigfoot. I hope you guys enjoyed my story. Until next time, good night.